Welcome to Case Breaking, man. I tell you, I woke up so pumped this morning, man. I couldn't wait to be on episode 2 here with you. Thank you to all the fans, everyone out there. You guys have been fantastic. We're going to keep kind of bring great stuff to you week in and week out. You know, there's so much to talk about, and there's so many things going on out there, man. Where do you think we should start?
Well, let me just say, first of all, it's a pleasure to just be with you, first and foremost.
When are we going to play golf, man?
Whenever you want to. We both have been on vacation, so yeah. But it is time to play golf, and the Masters is among us. We'll get to that in a minute, but good to see you again, man.
My Masters week, it is one of my favorite weeks in sports. And I find myself just having a little bit of steam out because of Tiger.
100%.
You know, and it's really relevant, I guess, to sports cards in itself, because me personally, I feel like Tiger is the greatest investment you can make in sports right now. But there's something about him that is so polarizing, and he has so much. Just the fans and the people, they just love him. He's so revered, even though it's because we've lived his struggle, you know, and we've lived through that.
Yes.
And I don't know, it just takes a little bit out of my sails for him not to be there.
Yes. Let's be honest. The Masters won't be the same. The Masters will be the Masters, but we miss Tiger.
Yeah, it won't be.
And that's the reality. What he brings to the table as far as his aura, his history at the Masters, his game, his charisma, everything about Tiger makes us glued to the TV when we watch him at the Masters. And so we're going to miss him. And I'm going to still watch the Masters because I'm a golfer like you, or we try to attempt to be golfers, but
more me than you.
Who's better out of you two, for real?
Oh, Michael's better.
I heard Michael mention something that you might actually beat him, and that's impressive.
But the thing about it with Leo has the potential to be a scratch golfer. And his drive is 320, 330 all the time. And then we start talking, and then he'll hit one left or hit one right. But the reality is he has the potential to be a scratch golfer.
I don't have focus. I'm just thinking about cards all day. That's a problem.
True.
You know, it's a mental game as much as anything.
Well, that's how I was introduced to cards on the golf course with you.
Right.
You still didn't answer the question, though. Who's the better golfer?
Definitely Michael.
He answered.
We have the same
his answer.
It's fine. I have acknowledged this, but it gives me something to work towards. So, you know.
Let me just say this, because on the range, you're a scratch golfer. Aren't we all? But he really is a scratch golfer on the range.
I look like I know what I'm doing a lot of the time, but doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. At least I show up. I got
we had the same golf instructor, so we have the same golf instructor.
Right.
So
Yes. You know, I think that's a good segue though into cards, because there's very few athletes, right, in the world ever that have the polarizing effect of guys like Tiger.
Sure.
And he, like I said, he's one of my favorite investments right now. I do not care what the number is. I don't care. Someday, that man is going to quit. And he just had a tragic accident, and I pray for him, and I hope he does well.
Sure.
I want him back. Everyone wants him back.
Do you think he'll come back?
I do. I think he enjoyed. I think it's not the money. It's not.
Right.
It's the challenge of him being able to do it. Right. That's what athletes motivates them so much. The special ones, especially, because you get to a point where you become numb to the money. You don't care about the money.
Right.
You know, you care about trying to create a legacy, and you care about trying to, you know, bring yourself back from something that nobody thinks you can come back from. You know, I just get nervous with him because he's had so much hardship, and he's had so many things, and we've been fans, at least when I say we have been on his journey, you know, since golf began with Nike, that he, you know, and you worry that at some point somebody just says, man, maybe I'm going to focus my time on my son, who's really good, and just say, it's not enough to take it away. So I don't know. And regardless, the day that happens,
wow,
think about it. When Kobe, rest in peace, when he died, you know, I sat down in my basement. I was at a basketball game with my son. He's 8 years old. And LJ, saw me, and I was crying at the game, and he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I go, "Dude, I hope this isn't true."
Sure.
But Kobe died,
Right.
and we went home, and I've never had such a great moment. Like, I've had a lot of great moments, but with my son, we sat there, and he like cried with me, and like he felt that, and people feel that. That's
question.
what makes sports so special. Is they create relationships with people, even though the people they don't know, and it brings that. But when that happened, his card value, like Stefan and I, right? What do? I called you, and I felt really bad. I felt kind of opportunistic at the time because I didn't feel right about it. Like there was a moral, but I'm like, dude, buy him because he's one of our favorite athletes, all of our favorite athletes. And I'm like, dude, if this is really true, like there's only so much ink that's left with him out there. It's going to run out. It doesn't matter. And when I say ink, I mean an autographed card, or memorabilia or anything like that. And you think the same thing with Tiger.
Let me ask you a question along with that. With the value of Jack Nicklaus versus the value of Tiger, right? That's debatable who is the greatest golfer of all time is, but card value, whose value in the long term would be higher?
Well, one,
Tiger.
Right. I mean, that's Jack. I mean, Jack. I know Jack. He's up from Columbus. One of the greatest, human beings, decorated champions that there is. But Tiger did something different. Jack grew up in a different age. There was no social media. There weren't those platforms to push. That stuff wasn't there, And with Tiger, it's different because he almost modernized the game of golf. He brought it to where it is today. The purses were what? When Jack was playing, what do you get to win the Masters?
200,000, $500,000,
maybe. Justin Thomas won the Players Championship. It was in Florida, so there's probably more fans than anywhere else. But
right.
I mean, still, what was the purse? North of $2 million bucks, I would assume. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and you think about that kind of stuff, and it's not always about when you're investing in cards how good the player is. It's about there's very rare players, right? And I call it seems weird, but they're blue chip investments, right? Because they're not going to go down.
Right.
A Kobe card isn't going down.
Right.
A Jordan card's not going down. A LeBron card is not going down, in my opinion.
Right.
But you don't get those manic falls that you get with like a rookie that just comes out of the gate and just starts doing certain things. So,
Question for both you and Stefan.
$2.7 million for Justin Thomas. Sorry.
How much?
$2.7 million.
$2.7 million. No, $2.7 million.
For who?
Justin Thomas. He won the Players.
I know. I'm saying 2.7. Wow.
Think about that. Unbelievable, those purses.
Yeah.
And Tiger created that. He did.
Yeah.
At one point, when he was at the pinnacle of his performance, they were talking about he was just going to create a Tiger tour. Yeah. He was just going to create his own tour and say, I'm going to do my own stuff because he is the draw. You can look at anything you want to look at, and you can look at any stat on TV ratings. It does not matter, and it will not change.
When he won in 2019, the stats as far as ratings were through the roof.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes I've ever seen in golf, and we'll close with this, is when he won the Tour Championship. He didn't win the FedEx Cup, but he won the Tour Championship. Yeah. And there was God knows how many people.
Legion.
And they were all behind him.
Yeah.
And you felt that.
Yeah.
Like you did. It was emotional. And you see that kind of stuff, and you're like, that kind of stuff drives value. That kind of stuff, that's unique.
He will come back and he will win again. That's my prediction.
Man, I hope you're right.
I hope so.
I hope you're right, because just like we talked about last week, that basketball is better when Indiana is good. Golf is better when Tiger is playing.
1,000%.
It's just the way it works.
Have we ever said that about Indiana basketball?
We did last week.
Okay, sorry.
we did last week. I want to touch on this.
Sure.
I don't know the exact date on which the last sale happened, but a Tom Brady rookie card just sold for $2.25 million.
Wow.
And it's got to be his championship contenders, and they're very condition sensitive. So the reason what drives the value of them is the grade, like we've talked about.
Sure.
I believe the previous sale of that card was 1.2, maybe 2 months ago. Steph, we're gonna check that one. But it just went bananas.
Let me ask you a question. Does the card have to be absolutely pristine, or could it be just an old card that you had of a Mickey Mantle or a rookie old Tom Brady that's been in the attic and has a few bends on the corners? Does it matter, or it doesn't matter?
It does. It matters a lot. There's two things that you got to think about. It's a thing called a pop report, right? So there's different grading sites. There's PSA,
Right.
which, by the way, just announced yesterday or a few days ago that they're shutting down service of cards to catch up with their backlog. They mentioned something a year ago. They were taking 500,000 cards a month.
Sure.
Is that about right, Stefan?
No, it was 500,000 a week, and they said the normal, that was about 3 months worth of submissions a year ago, 2 years ago, and now that's every week.
Yeah.
500,000
To get
cards
graded.
a week.
Right. So they're 10 times the amount of cards getting graded, and it's unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
So the grade definitely drives the value, but the pop report is very important. It's something that people really need to look at. It's because the rarity of the card, the unnumbered cards or the numbered cards, it really doesn't matter. The grade variates, and what these grading sites do, whether it's HGA, SGC, or PSA or BGS, they put a pop report out, which is a population report of the grades of those cards.
Okay.
So you can, we sold just recently a dual PSA 10 LeBron for, I don't know, it was $400,000, something like that. But the pop was 16, and it's a card that's numbered. The ultimate's numbered to, is it $299 or?
$499. Let me look.
Can't be that high. But anyways, it was numbered, but the pop of the grade was 16.
Okay.
So the grade drives the value. It just
does.
It 100% does.
Okay.
And I have a theory real quick on PSA right now, because I feel like
250.
250. Yeah, so a pop 16 out of 250, you're less than 10%. In between 5 and 10%. So of the cards in population have that grade.
Okay.
And then we own what's called a black label LeBron Ultimate, which is the only reason we sold it, because we hate selling. I have a problem in selling cards, even though we're supposed to sell them. I have a problem in selling them. But we had a dual PSA 10, pop 16, and we sold it for $350,000. And the only reason we did is we had what's called a black label ultimate collection, which it's a pop 3. The best grade you can get, I think the most reputable grade, is a black label BGS, which means all the subgrades, the corners, the surface, the edges, they're all 10s. They're all perfect.
Got it.
So it's a pristine card.
Yep.
Yep. And the pop on that was 3, I believe, right?
Yes.
It was a pop 3. So the rarity of that card drives up the value. So that card, I don't know. It's hard to predict the market because it moves so much.
Sure.
But that's $1 million card. Gotta be. Gotta be. Something like that.
Wow.
Should be after the Kobe refractor black label.
Right, which sold for $1.9 million. A pop
Unbelievable.
2, I believe
Pop
that one
2
was.
on that one,
That's a pop 2. No ink, which I'm a huge ink guy.
Okay.
I feel like and that doesn't say I'm right, because people,
Sure.
but I just feel like
Just a preference.
an ink on someday we're going to come into something where LeBron, Jordan, he's like Kobe.
Sure.
They can't sign cards anymore.
Right.
You can still print them.
Right.
But you can't sign them. Signing it makes it a little more real for me. But All right, here we go. Best part of the segment is Rippin Wax, man. We got something new today. It's Prizm basketball, 2021. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and hopefully somebody else who comes out.
Halliburton, Wiseman.
Yeah, I'm not a huge center fan. I think wings and guards.
You said that.
value.
Yeah, you're not a big center fan.
There's some great centers, like some of the best players of all time. I just think in today's market,
Wings, point guards,
they kind of drive value. So,
well, Wiseman is selling pretty well right now.
yeah, well,
I don't like centers either, but it's not about what we like all the time. It's about what the consumer likes.
all right, well, sure. Well, in
general,
2018, we ripped how many cases of NT basketball? Over 100.
A couple.
When they were reasonably priced, and now like they're not. But we ripped many, and I went on this quest. It was like a personal quest for Luka.
Yep.
Couldn't find it. He forced me to buy a Luka. I'll never forget. I was at Cedar Point, it's like a roller coaster park in Ohio. And I was at Cedar Point, and I was in line, and he's like, buy this card or I'm buying it for you. Shut your mouth and just do it. And he forced me, and I bought it for $12,000. Sold it.
You told me the story. That's right.
A year later.
That's right.
What was the number?
220,000.
220,000. 1 year later, Luka. What is DeAndre Ayton valued at today? How can he?
You know it's not that high. We both know it's not that high. That's not my point. My point is Wiseman is selling well right now. If you have him, sell him. Because the long-term value is not going to hold up that well.
Sure. But he's playing well.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a double-double machine. He plays well. He's on a fantastic team. He's in a good NBA market. Phoenix is not a bad NBA market. And he's not even going to touch that.
Yeah.
He's not going to touch it. The market speaks for itself.
For a first-time investor, someone who's completely new to this space, is it more important to buy a pack or to buy an individual card? Or does it vary? It doesn't matter.
If you're trying to actually make money, buying singles is the way to go. Buying wax it's straight gambling, period. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, you do receive something for your money. But like the last episode, we $10,000 briefcase.
Yeah.
We pulled maybe $2,500 worth of cards.
Right.
$7,500. Gone.
Yep.
So that's not the wisest investment. It's more fun. It's a lot more fun to pull the card than to go buy the singles. Believe me.
Yeah.
But buying and selling singles is where you're going to actually make
the money.
Listen, everyone collects cards. We've talked about this for different reasons. Some is just, as an investment. They're emotionless to it. Some are investors and they're trying to make money. Some are collectors and some have a nostalgia moment, For us, we like to open cards. Like every release, I would say the vast majority of releases we buy. Just to open a few. Just to see it, And that's because we love cards. We want to. But I know a lot of people. I know Tom Fish from Blowout. He's the owner of Blowout Cards. They're the largest online distributor probably on the planet. And he likes wax. And wax is sealed cases. He would view this as a waste of time. He's like, why would you open that? Because the product will probably, it's like a fine wine. In most cases, it will age better. If you bought a case, when I was buying the Luka Doncic with Stefan, the 18-19 NT that we didn't hit any of, we're buying it for $4,000 a case. Go buy one right now. It's like 65, 70 grand. But think from a correlation perspective, what's the highest value of a card that you could possibly get out of that case? The Luka Logoman just sold for $4.6 million. So you can sell a case and you can make a nice conservative return. I'm not saying 4,000 to 60,000 is a bad return, but I'm saying you got a chance to hit a whammy, man. You got a chance to you got a chance to really do it. So that I think is that certainly motivates us. We just like looking at the cards too. Like, how can you talk about them and not like really know the product? So the way I like to rip this stuff is it's 12 packs. I rip them 4 at a time, and then I just put them in stacks. And then I like to do a little cheating, to see where the silvers are, to see if you get if you see a gold, then then something really happens, So we got a rookie card here. We got a Kawhi. We used to take these cards and put them in the trash, but you get that graded at some point, and get a PSA 10. It could be worth $100, although PSA is not grading anymore. We got
Brandon. It's not worth it anymore.
See that? It's a mojo. So, oh, baby. RJ Barrett, not rookie year.
Still, that's pretty decent.
That's a Larry Nance Jr. That's relatively disappointing. Mojo. So the mojos are numbered to 25. You can tell by the different kind of print they have. It looks unique.
Okay.
But no disrespect to Larry Nance. I really like the Cavs. Zeke. What's his name? Zeke Ninja. You know him?
I do not.
I do not. Plays for the Nuggets. Have depth, man, everywhere. Jeez,
so much depth.
So I'll put the rookie cards in one. I'll put the Prizms in another, and then I'll put your vets that I feel like have some value over there. I'm gonna keep going here just to make things. Well, we got a silver. Luke Kennard.
Yeah.
See that?
Started to play well.
Now we got a blue.
He's getting better.
Mm-hmm. He's finding his rhythm.
Yeah.
He's finding his rhythm.
Definitely
see
started off pretty slow, though.
Nature of that?
Yeah.
How it looks silver. Prizm has become Fred VanVleet. He's
a stud.
He's nice, man. I really like him. It's a blue, too. So the blues are to $199. So the number dictates the value.
Okay.
Silvers are very popular. So today a silver Zion probably sells 5,000-6,000 PSA 10.
Okay.
And then you can just keep going down the line because they have silvers, and I think the first actual numbered is a red, and the reds sell they're to $299, and they sell for more. And then you've got the blues that are to $199, and then you go to, depending on the variation of the Prizm product you have, it goes all the way down to what's called a nebula, which is a 101.
That's for choice. And then you have the black shimmer for first off the line, and then the regular black for hobby.
The regular black for hobby.
Okay.
They added some new variations this year, and they changed the numbering on some of the other ones too. The old some of the ice cards.
What is this? I haven't seen this before. That's a Jamal Murray, but this is it almost looks like a throwback for 2012 Jason Tatum Prizm card.
Yeah, they're called flashbacks.
The flashbacks.
Flashback to 12-13. Those in silver are beautiful.
Yeah.
Great looking cards.
God,
these are beautiful.
They're beautiful cards. Keep going. There we go. It's a red wave. Seth Curry. That's unnumbered.
The best Curry.
The best Curry.
Huh? Never mind.
I had to laugh at that a little bit.
You see him?
The only reason I said it.
I got him as third, actually. He's
not bad. He's
terrific, but he's not better than his dad.
He can shoot. Oh,
out of all the Currys, Steph, Dale, and then Seth. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Dale Curry was amazing shooter.
No, he was good. He was very good.
Amazing shooter.
Seth is he's living in the shadow of his brother, and his brother is just wildly popular because he is Steph Curry won championships with the Golden State Warriors, and he shoots the three ball, man. People love that. It's exciting.
100%.
Ooh, 100%. You got a Wiseman base. That's nice.
Stephen, you're big on Wiseman. And you're big on Wiseman. Are you guys big on Wiseman?
I'm not.
I love his talent in the real world.
Yeah,
I love his real world skills, and I think he can be a huge part of the future.
I'm
collecting
$299 billion
for long term hobby. Yeah, I do agree. We talk about this all the time. Just big men don't hold value long term, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about Wilt, Bill Russell, Shaquille, Olajuwon, Kareem.
Yep.
Kareem. See, even a Steph Curry base, if this grades like a 10, meaning if the centering's really good, most of Prizm cards, you have probably a better opportunity on the Prizm cards to get good grades just because they're thinner.
Okay.
So they don't run around as much with the thicker ones. They just, the corners, the center, like just things get off.
Beat up.
The athletes, when the athletes handle them, there's so you get thumbnails in the cardboard constantly.
I've signed millions of cards probably. And you're right. It's a good point. We get them. We snatch them.
Yep.
Pashal. What is that?
Pascal.
Oh, it's a hyper. Throw that over there. It's Tobias Harris hyper. See if we got anything fun coming up here. Tatum. MPJ playing well, getting minutes.
What did I say to you a week ago about him?
He's terrific. They had to make a choice.
They got to make a choice in the near future.
Playing well.
Yeah, and then they traded for Aaron Gordon.
Which is this?
And he's actually, you know what? So far, he's looking like the player that they were hoping MPJ would be. It's a very small sample size.
It's regular season.
Very small sample size. I understand. But I'm not a huge Aaron Gordon fan. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to say something in my little segment that I was surprised I even wrote.
Okay.
Because I've never been a huge Aaron Gordon fan. He came out, his prices were high off the bat, and like he had so much potential and hype.
Sure.
He just hasn't, he's been toiling in Orlando.
Rodman, not a fantastic player. Right?
Absolutely.
Fantastic player.
Absolutely was.
Not flashy, but for some reason.
Not flashy?
No, not flashy okay, sorry. He was very flashy in general. I'm saying he wasn't flashy on the court. He didn't have the wing guard talent.
That wasn't his role.
But people love him.
No question.
The court of public opinion drives the value of the cards, and popularity matters. That's why people like Charles Barkley. That's why people like Shaq. That's, the popularity of the player certainly, and their personality has an effect on their cards. All right, I'm going, what is this? So it's a subset, Anthony Davis silver. It's a nice card.
Question about Anthony Davis. Injuries. Do they devalue you instantly or do they maintain you?
It depends on the injury of the player. Like Anthony Davis, his cards, they've been hovering around the same price.
LeBron alert.
Whoa.
It's just a base.
Yeah, but that is let Red see that card. That is a beautiful card.
That's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful dunk.
My favorite basketball photo on a card this decade.
So this is him reenacting the Kobe dunk.
Yeah.
And that card grades well. We'll probably sell for $1,000, maybe more.
Wow.
And that's the best card we've hit so far. And it's a base LeBron card. Nothing special. It's not silver. Nothing.
Right.
It's crazy.
The player.
It's the player. Oh, Luka alert. I'm sorry. I get really excited when I see
You love Luka.
I love Luka, man. One of my dreams one day is to bring my son to be able to see him play. He has Luka stuff all in his room, and
we can make that happen. Let's go to Milwaukee and watch a game.
Let's do that. I'll take you up on that.
Seriously, absolutely.
He is special, man.
He's special. He's special.
He's very Larry Bird-esque.
Does the endorsement from star players of younger players up the value of a card of that player?
Sure.
LeBron comes out and says, "Hey, Tucker,
done with that, guys.
The young kid Tucker is going to be a star."
Maybe initially, just because LeBron said that, it might have an initial boost to the value. But if they don't perform on the court,
ultimately,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
But an initial boost. If LeBron came out and said, "Man, this guy is the next me," or the next whatever. You know, he'll get an initial boost, but you still have to play.
Yeah. All right. On to the next segment, guys. That was a cold case. This is like one of those things. I just want to close on this.
A little frigid.
I'm cold. Like, this is one of those things when, like, this is what happens with Stefan and I all the time.
Yeah.
When we're ripping wax. He always gets the good cards, man. Him and LJ. I never get a good card. Like, I'm terrible. I'm like the worst blackjack dealer at the casino. Like, it's awful. Unbelievable. I'm the guy, like, that people, like, throw cards at when they're, like, done in Vegas. It's awful.
You're too hard on yourself.
All right, here we go, baby.
Let's go.
This is my favorite part of the show, outside of case breaking, when, I mean, sometimes it's depressing. I mean, you have to know, like, when you're going to rip wax and you don't hit something, you get kind of sad.
Got chilly in here.
Part of the game, man.
Yeah.
Part of the game. So 5 minutes with Stefan. Let's try to make that money back here. Tee it up, my man.
All right, we're going to do something different this week and moving forward. I'm not going to sit here and drone on and give you 5 guys and tell you exactly which cards I think you should buy. We're going to try to teach you guys about some investing, you folks out there. We're going to teach you how to fish, all right? So you can do some of this on your own, at home, use some of your own judgment. I don't know who you guys all like as players. I don't know how much capital you have to invest. I don't know what your risk strategy or levels are. I have no idea. Are you nervous? Are you long-term holder? I have no idea. So I'm going to just give you some general strategies that I use every single day, buying and selling and holding cards.
Spend it all. Sorry, that's fine.
That's where it starts.
Come on.
NBA is starting to slow down now. We're coming to the end. The play-in starts May 18th. So not only do you have the regular playoff exposure, which I typically start planning for the playoffs the day that the finals end. I'm already looking to next year's playoffs on certain players, especially like LeBron cards, Giannis cards, big guys who you assume are going to go far in the playoffs. So we hold a certain amount of those bigger cards for another year before we really try to maximize the value on them. But with this year, you have that extra play-in. So you have 2 extra teams in each conference that are going to have additional exposure, a little more time in the limelight. So you should think about, you know, who are some of the decent rookies and maybe some of those playoff teams or play-in teams who might get a little extra exposure, and you can sell their cards at a premium for a couple, maybe an extra week or 2, you know, before they're just done until next season. So obviously this is about opportunity. And one of the guys I really like right now, I liked him last year as soon as he was drafted to the Nets, Nicholas Claxton. Great frame, high motor, high energy, young guy around all these established superstars. And they traded Jared Allen away, who was really the only person standing in his way. Great. They brought in Blake Griffin. All right. They brought in Aldridge. He's 35 years old. He's still, Aldridge's game is still like 10 years ago pace. You know what I mean? Claxton, man, you know Harden loves throwing those alley-oops too. You know it. So Nicholas Claxton, he's a big guy. I know we always preach against big guys. I'm not saying a long-term hold, but this is what I'm calling it's success by association. They're going to make a deep playoff run. He's going to have exposure. He's playing well. I don't see that stopping. So for a short-term, card to buy and flip, I think Nick Claxton, there's not a lot of risk in it. The cards aren't that expensive at the moment. Whatever level you're at in this game, go out and pick up some Nick Claxton cards, whatever you can afford. I'm not going to tell you what to pick up. But obviously Prizm, NT, Flaw, those all hold, well, he's not in Flaws really, but NT, Prizm, those are your top ones, Immaculate. But whatever you can afford, go grab a couple Nick Claxtons and just get ready for the playoffs. Another guy in that same vein, Terrence Mann for the Clippers. I actually like this guy. I know they just traded for Lou Williams, but who do they have for guards? Lou Williams, Reggie Bullock.
They traded for Rondo.
Rondo. Sorry.
I'm
They
correcting
traded
you.
Lou Williams.
We got
Rondo.
a problem now.
I wrote Rondo down here. Still, whatever. So they have Rondo and basically Reggie Bullock. Those are their main guards for the most part.
No, you're right.
He's been playing really well lately. He's been getting a lot of playing time this season compared to last. Once again, the exposure and success by association. You have Kawhi, you have Paul George, you have that team. They're expected to make a deep run. I don't think they're going to win the finals, but they should have, second, maybe third round. So get them now. All you need is a couple of hot games. Look at Hero last year. Hero's NT rookie card. We sold 3 of them in July. All of them for $4,000 to $4,500. They were selling for $30,000 during the playoffs and the finals for like a gem mint hero. That is how crazy the playoffs are. If you aren't doing this every single year in every single sport, you're just losing. You're losing the opportunity to make easy. It's easy money because it's just guaranteed historically every year.
Timing.
Guys in the playoffs,
Timing.
They get a little hot. Look at Jamal Murray last year. His cards weren't selling. They were good,
Smoking
but they
hot.
weren't selling for what they were during the playoffs, or even Jokic.
He dropped
Donovan
50%,
Mitchell,
yeah.
another guy.
Yep.
Like these are all guys that everyone liked and they're popular and they were selling well. But playoffs, everyone's watching. National exposure, they just fly up. If you could hit on a couple of these guys, you can make a lot of money. Robert Williams for the Celtics. They're more of a play-in team at the moment. Wow. He's starting and he's looking, he looks pretty damn good. He looks pretty good. I've already been watching his card values increase, but it's still a low risk. He's not very expensive overall. Grab a couple, sell them around the play-in time. If they make the playoffs, sell them the first round. Aaron Gordon. I can't believe Aaron Gordon. Grab some Aaron Gordons. I can't believe I'm saying this, but grab some Aaron Gordons because the Nuggets look like they're going to go deep. If not, they potentially could make the finals. Legitimately potential to make the finals, at least a Western Conference. I like watching Red bob his head over here. And then a couple other guys really briefly because I'm getting kicked off here. These are long-term hold, short-term hold, whatever you like. There's just a couple of younger guys that they're not going to be making the playoffs that I just like from watching them. Kiki with the Magic, he finally got called up. He was in the G League last year. He is looking very solid. Desmond Bane for the Grizzlies. First game I saw him play, I text Leo, and within a month, I'm like, how's this guy not starting already? And now he's starting. He looks pretty solid. And Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves. And that's not because I'm a Timberwolves fan. I'm very critical of that organization because they've drafted like doo-doo for the last 20 years. But I think these two guys, they look special. They look special. A last thing, Hall of Fame coming up May 13th. If you haven't been buying Kobe's, KD's, and Tim Duncan's for that event, you're already behind. That's another historic values rise every Hall of Fame induction for the top guys. It's just what happens. So you should be thinking about that. Hall of Fame, playoffs, get your money in now before everyone starts getting, starts going really heavy on those. And just think, if you know a player on another team that's going to make the playoffs and you like them, you better be grabbing them now. Grab them now. If you want to sell them before the playoffs start while all the hype is building, that's not a terrible strategy because they might get booted out in the first round. And the second that buzzer goes off and that loss, cards drop. The second they drop. I sold a Tyler Hero BGS 9 for $10,000 the week after the finals last year. 15-17-5 card a week earlier in the finals. And that's just how it is. It's all about the timing.
Timing is everything, Thank you, Stefan.
Wow.
It is. You have to be quick. If you want to day trade, sports cards is day trading.
Right.
You got to be ready. The games matter. The games matter and the release matters. Cards you buy a box, it's more expensive on the day of release, in most cases, outside of some rookie doing really well, than they are ever. So timing really does matter, and I think it's a great point. Is you have to do the opposite thing of what I do, and it's don't buy to just hold and hoard mountains of cards here. If you want to turn this into a business and you want to turn this into, there's people that go into the sale racks at Walmart and they just buy sale stuff and then they sell them on Amazon for 30, 40, 50% profit. Okay, makes sense. If you want to make a legitimate income in this business and you want to do it, you have to be unemotional and you have to be ready. And you have to be prepared to sell it and have the proper platform to sell it at the right time.
That's fascinating that when the season ends, cars drop. Yeah. Basically. Speaking of Hall of Famers, you got a few Hall of Famers right in front of you that I've been looking at the whole show. You want to talk about what's in front of you?
This card, I don't even like to touch it, which is really weird to say in itself. But this is probably one of our prized possessions, that we have. Outside of you, 3 of my favorite NBA players, that ever played. You got LeBron, you got Kobe, you got Jordan. And they're on the same card. The rarity of the card, it's a 1-of-1. It's an exquisite auto, which exquisite was when Upper Deck had the contract for the NBA years ago before Panini got it, was the premium release of any product there was out there. And there's probably maybe 5, 6 of these in the world, something like that, depending on the year and the variation of the product. Game worn jerseys. Listen, this is one of those things where I understand that you're in rare air when you're dealing with stuff like this. These cards are not easy to come by. They're hard to find. Like when you got a fine card, like you have to almost you see in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah. It's you have to do a million different things to try to pry something, because anyone who has a card like this, they do not want to get rid of it. They don't. So you have to do whatever. You have to do so many unique things to get it. And I can't. I don't know. It's one of our favorite cards. We'll start bringing in some of our other stuff for everyone to look at, just for fun, to know that we're not just. We're collectors at heart. Like that's why we're here. Is we love this stuff. We do this and we're passionate about it, but we also know. Game worn jerseys of the 3 probably most popular players of all time. Enough said. We want to get it graded, and PSA shut it down, and now we are afraid to ship it. We're not giving this one away, by the way. I'm sorry about that. These, whenever we have a cold deck, we're going to give away something nice. Put it that way. So these are 4 cards that we actually feel like are really great cards, to be honest.
Great
Yelich
cards.
Playing, right now. We've got an Ohtani. He's playing well. We had a little bit of an injury scare, which is what you worry about with him. Harrell, PSA 10. You can't even get PSA cards graded nowadays. So this is fantastic. And then Jordan Spieth, coming off a win last week, heading into the Masters.
I like his chances.
I don't know, man. He's on a heater. He's playing well.
Morikawa, Spieth, DJ.
I like Spieth. This could be a lot. If he wins,
JT.
This card's going to be a lot better than you think. I like JT.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We love you. We'll see you soon.